The first thing I noticed when I walked into the restaurant was the way the candlelight flickered across her face, highlighting the sharp curve of her cheekbones and the mischievous glint in her eyes. My heart should have swelled with love, with gratitude that we'd made it another year, another anniversary together. Instead, a strange knot of unease twisted in my stomach. Something about the way she was sitting, laughing too easily, leaning too close to him, set off an alarm I didn't want to hear. "Happy anniversary," she said, her voice warm, teasing, but there was a weight beneath it I couldn't place. She reached across the table and squeezed my hand, but it felt unfamiliar, almost performative. I swallowed hard, trying to brush off the feeling, convincing myself it was nerves. After all, this was our favorite restaurant, and she had insisted on dressing up tonight, something she rarely did. Yet when I looked to my right, I froze. He was already there. Her male best friend, Jordan. Tall, broad-shouldered, with that easy grin that made him seem like he belonged in someone else's life entirely. And he was laughing, leaning too casually in the booth like this was his night too. "Hey, man." Jordan greeted me, clapping a hand on my shoulder in that way that felt too intimate for a stranger, and I forced a smile. "Hey," I said. I don't know why she thought this was okay. Why she thought he should be at our anniversary dinner. I tried to tell myself that I was overreacting, that we'd had these double-date dinners before, that he was just a friend. But as she slid her wine glass toward him, lingering on his fingers as he accepted it, my stomach sank. "I wanted you both to celebrate with us," she said brightly. "It's just more fun this way." I nodded, but my mind spun. More fun. More fun for whom? Certainly not me. I forced a laugh, trying to mask the churn of jealousy and doubt. We ordered. I chose my usual, a safe, comforting dish I always liked. But when Jordan's order arrived, my pulse stuttered. He had ordered the most expensive thing on the menu, the most indulgent, the one he knew she liked. The one she always raved about. And she smiled when he ordered it like it was meant for him. I watched them across the candlelit table. He made a joke, and she laughed. Deep, unrestrained, the kind of laugh she hadn't given me in months. My hand curled around my wine glass, knuckles white. "Everything okay?" she asked. "Yeah," I said, but the lie tasted bitter. It was supposed to be a celebration of us. Yet I felt invisible, like an intruder in my own life. The conversation was light, trivial, work, movies, the weather. But every glance they shared, every inside joke, cut me like glass. I kept telling myself, I'm imagining things. I'm being paranoid. But deep down, I knew there was a reason my gut twisted so fiercely. Halfway through the dinner, she leaned in toward him. I caught it from the corner of my eye. She brushed a strand of hair from his forehead, something she hadn't done for me in years. My throat tightened. Do you want dessert?" she asked me, her hand briefly brushing mine again. I flinched instinctively, my fingers recoiling. No," I said. My voice sounded foreign to my own ears. Jordan, however, didn't hesitate. "I'll try the chocolate soufflé," he said. She nodded enthusiastically, her smile radiant, and I couldn't eat a bite. My appetite had vanished, replaced by a cold, crawling dread. When the waiter left, I finally spoke. My voice was low, almost trembling. "Why is he here?" She blinked, genuinely surprised. "I told you. I wanted to celebrate together." "Don't be silly. Don't be silly." The words came out harsher than I intended. I could feel the tension in the air, thick and suffocating. "It's our anniversary. Uday. Why does he need to be here?" She laughed softly, brushing off my concern. "You're overthinking it. Jordan's my best friend. You've met him plenty of times. I just wanted him to join. He's been lonely lately, and this seemed like a nice thing to do." I stared at her. Her words sounded reasonable, on paper. But the way she looked at him, the way she laughed, the subtle lean of her body toward him, it told a different story. The rest of the dinner passed in a blur. I couldn't eat. I couldn't drink. I could barely even make conversation. My mind replayed every subtle look, every lingering touch she gave him. By the time the check arrived, I felt hollow, exhausted, like I had been running a marathon in a nightmare. We left the restaurant, and the cool night air did nothing to soothe me. I wanted to ask her, to demand answers, but a part of me dreaded the truth. Back at home, the house was quiet. Too quiet. She poured herself a glass of wine and sat on the couch, patting the space next to her. "Sit with me," she said. Her voice was gentle, almost seductive. I hesitated, then sat down. My chest felt heavy. My mind raced. "Talk to me," she said, turning to face me. "You've been distant tonight." "I've been distant?" "Yes. Because your best friend came to our anniversary dinner, leaned across the table, ordered the thing you always say is your favorite, and you." I stopped, choking back a bitterness I didn't know how to contain. "You smiled at him like he was the one who mattered tonight." Her eyes widened, and she shook her head. "Danny, come on. That's not fair." "Not fair," echoed, my voice breaking. "Do you know what it feels like to watch the woman you love, your wife, laugh like that with another man? To feel invisible in your own marriage?" She reached for my hand again, but I pulled away. My body trembled. "I can't do this tonight. I can't pretend it's okay. I feel betrayed." She sighed, running a hand through her hair. "I didn't betray you. I didn't." "You didn't what?" "Snap. Invite him to our anniversary. Laugh at his jokes while ignoring mine. The way you looked at him." She flinched, as if my words had struck her physically. And then silence. I knew in that moment that silence was the answer I had been dreading. "Danny," she started, her voice small. I didn't mean." But I didn't let her finish. Couldn't. My heart felt shattered into tiny, irreparable pieces. "I don't even know who you are anymore," I whispered. "The woman I married. Is she here, or is it him now?" She looked down, biting her lip. That hesitation, the falter in her eyes, was confirmation. Confirmation of everything I had feared but hadn't wanted to admit. The next few days were a blur of tension and unspoken accusations. I avoided her, but she didn't seem to mind. She kept her phone close, smiled at messages I didn't see, and I couldn't shake the image of her and Jordan laughing together, leaning in too close, sharing a world I wasn't allowed to enter. One evening, unable to bear the uncertainty, I confronted her. "Tell me the truth," I demanded. "Is there something going on between you and him?" She froze, the glass in her hand trembling. Her eyes filled with tears, and my chest clenched, expecting a confession, a defense. Instead, she did something worse. She nodded. I don't know what this is anymore," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. It's not simple. I didn't mean to hurt you. I love you, Danny. I feel something for him too." I felt the world collapse around me. The floor beneath my feet vanished. My chest burned, my throat ached, and I felt tears I had been holding back for months finally pour out. "Love me," I whispered. "After everything we've built. After our vows. You love him." She nodded again, unable to meet my eyes. "I trusted you," I said, my voice breaking, raw and ragged. "I gave you everything. And you gave pieces of yourself to someone else." We sat there in silence, the room heavy with heartbreak and betrayal. The truth had been laid bare, and there was no going back. No apology could undo the pain. No words could repair the trust that had been shattered. In the end, I realized the hardest truth. Love, no matter how deep, isn't always enough to survive betrayal. The woman I had adored, shared dreams with, laughed with, fought for, had chosen someone else. And I had to let her go. I packed a bag that night, my hands shaking, my heart in tatters. She didn't try to stop me, not really. Perhaps she knew, even then, that some wounds can't be healed, some betrayals can't be forgiven. As I closed the door behind me, I looked back once. She was sitting on the couch, staring at the empty space beside her, and for a fleeting moment, I thought I saw regret in her eyes. But it was too late. Outside, the night air was cold against my skin. My heart ached, but there was also a strange, painful clarity. I was alone, yes. Heartbroken, yes. But free from a love that had become a prison of doubt, lies, and longing for someone who was never mine alone. I walked into the darkness, letting the tears fall freely, letting the pain wash over me. The road ahead was uncertain, terrifying, and unbearably lonely, but it was mine to take. And for the first time in weeks I took a breath, raw and shaky, and started to move forward.